Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Rod. I'm making a second video tonight, another contest entry. This one is for Dan's Vinyl channel. He is going through some changes. He's thinking about changing the name of his channel, and he just recently hit 100 subs. So the theme of this contest is changes. Put on some music, man. This is a music channel, for gosh sakes. Steve Earle is what I'm listening to. One of my very favorite singer-songwriters. This is The Revolution Starts Now. If the only song you're familiar with Steve Earle is the Copperhead Road, dig deep into his catalog, man. He won Best Folk Singer like at least twice. What do they call that? The Grammys. So Steve Earle, Texan. Anyway, the contest it's about changes. He says music that reminds you of changes, or a period in your life where you're going through changes, and a certain song or band you were listening to that helped you out. He said we could even use Black Sabbath Volume 4 because it has the song Changes. He said we could even use Changes 1 Bowie, but I'm not going to, even though I just showed him. I've been through a lot of changes in my life, and music has always helped me. I know my move to Texas, I listened to Stevie Ray Vaughan the entire trip up there, and it really helped me through a lot. I packed up an old station wagon with everything I owned and just took off to the hill country of Texas. Anyway, that's a song I listened to get me through the changes. And I'm going to show a Stevie Ray Vaughan record, not just because his music really helped me through that period of my life, because this album in particular is called In Step. And Stevie Ray Vaughan, it is no secret, had a drug problem, an alcohol problem. He got clean, he got sober, and that's why this is called In Step, because he was working a 12-step program. He was going through some changes for the better, and unfortunately he lost his life right after he got clean. So he's up there, man, playing in the band. So I want to use this one, In Step, because this album is about changes. Also, Neil Young. Neil Young. This is probably my favorite Neil Young album after the Gold Rush. And you may be thinking, why Neil Young? Well, think about it. Neil Young, the song Southern Man, which is on this, change is going to come real soon. Now your crosses are burning fast. So that song was definitely about changes for the better. And South is still. Anyway, I'm not gonna say nothing. More changes is these next two albums are both by Weather Report, and weather is always changing, but that was an afterthought. The reason I'm showing Weather Report is because this one had Jaco Pastorius on it, who is arguably the very best bass player who had ever lived. He is to bass what Jimi Hendrix was to guitar. Jaco, he lost his life in a bar fight. He was beaten to death, which is just crazy. But this is a great album by Weather Report. Has Jaco on it. Good album. Probably, in my opinion, the best album Weather Report did. Hope there's not too much glare. And this album by Weather Report does not have Hey, wait a minute, man. Okay, there we go. I put the album in the wrong sleeve, and this album does not have them. So that's a change of lineup plus weather report. And like I said, weather's always changing. And sticking with the theme of changing lineups. I'm gonna flip over this one, man. The Rolling Stones. It's only rock and roll. Steel Wheels, and a reissue of their first album. And they went through a lot of changes in lineup. This one featured the late Brian Jones. Brian Jones right there. Died very young in life. Uh, he drowned in a swimming pool, but there's controversy around that. A lot of people believe he was murdered. Anyway, they went from Brian Jones to an American by the name of Mick Taylor, who I think he only did 3 albums with him. And this is one of them. It's only rock and roll. Solid album. I've had this since junior high school. Not this particular album, but I've had a copy of this forever, either on CD or album. Mick Taylor didn't last long. Just like I said, a couple albums, 3 albums. And he was replaced by an Englishman who was probably a better fit, but not necessarily a better musician or a better guitar player. But he had the look. He looked like a Stone. I'm talking about Ron Wood. Yeah, I'm talking about Ron Wood. And this is an 80s album, Steel Wheels. And I tried to show 60s, 70s, 80s. It's actually a solid album, man. Mixed Emotions was on this. Very, very good rock and roll album. But the Stones, they always changed, man. They did not just stick with the same thing. A lot of people say that, the Start Me Up album, Tattoo You, was disco, or, Miss You was a disco song. They've always changed up just enough to stay relevant with the times. Go back and look at a copy of X on Main Street. I'm going to put this on pause real quick, and I'm going to grab that album. Okay, are we rolling again? Exile on Main Street. And this was a gift from Randy Weaver. Exile on Main Street by the Stones. It almost had a country feel. It's a phenomenal album. It's probably one of the top 3 Stones albums, but it just shows how diverse these guys really are and how they changed so much over time. That's probably why they're my favorite band, them and the Grateful Dead. And the Grateful Dead was another one that changed. They changed lineups. Of course, Pigpen died, and they got Donna to sing back up, and she didn't last long. So Stones have gone through their changes, and they've always come out on top. David Bowie, I showed his album, Changes One Bowie. I get the right one. Look how much he's changed, dude. The Thin White Duke, Ziggy Stardust, Tin Machine. He was always reinventing himself, and that was a cool thing. Anyway, this video was for Dan's video channel. Dan, whatever you call yourself, Dan the Vinyl Man, Dan's Vinyl Channel, Captain Dan, whatever you change it to, the name's not going to matter because you've got a great show, brother. If you have not subbed to him, please do. It is absolutely very entertaining. He's got a... Should I be playing this song in the background? Has the F word in it. Anyway, it's a cool channel, man. So check him out. Here we go. Yeah, maybe I should be playing that one. Can y'all hear it? My name is Rod. Thank you so much for checking this out, and please check out Dan's channel. I will have his name in the title of this video. Y'all be good. Peace. I thought I turned that off. There we go. Again, would somebody please tell me how to work this daggone laptop?